Watch Whimsy. Like. Subscribe. Ring that bell. Hi there, I'm Katie, and this is Watch Whimsy, where I review wonderful and wonky women's watches in a variety of price ranges. With today's watch, I haven't completely decided whether or not it is worth it for you to purchase. I think it's going to really depend on you as an individual and your desire in a timepiece and what you're looking for. You'll see what I mean as we continue on in the video. First of all, wristwatch check. I am wearing my little Seiko 890446. It's the first watch my husband gave me, and it is no longer being made. But the movement still is, and I will do a review on this at a later time. Today's watch is the Rocos 0206. Now, it comes in several variations, but the one that I chose was the one with the white strap and pink gold. I had never heard of Rocos before I bought this watch, so in preparation for this video today, I decided to do a little bit of research. Went to their website, and the only real thing I could find was their mission statement. There's not very much I could find about it aside that it is in China. Their mission statement is a bit jumbled, but from what I gather, their goal is to make fine quality timepieces at an accessible price. On a side note, as an author, Rocos, if you're watching this and you'd like for me to edit your mission statement page, please contact me and I will be glad to help you out with that. Also, if you have any questions about the watch, better hope it's not a frequently asked question because it is a blank page. If you need any information, you're likely going to have to contact them, and I haven't tried contacting them, so I couldn't tell you whether or not they are very responsive for that. When I purchased this watch, it was on Amazon, and it was the same price that it is on the website now, which is $119.98, plus tax, and likely plus shipping. I believe when I ordered it on Amazon, it was Prime shipping, so I didn't have to pay for it. But if you search for Rocos watches on Amazon now, you will not find it there at all. Since they've taken themselves off Amazon, I'm taking that they've decided to cut out the middleman and make it so you can only purchase their watches on their website. When making my decision on whether or not to purchase this watch, it was actually a pretty easy decision. I was buying watches back in November so I could have several to review for you. And as I was scrolling through Amazon, I came across this timepiece. And I was immediately struck with its skeleton movement. I've always been drawn to skeleton movements because, quite honestly, they are probably the horological dream if they are done correctly. What better than to be able to tell time on a piece and be able to see the inner workings of the mechanisms that make your timepiece move and work and keep time. It is absolutely mesmerizing to watch an exposed heartbeat on a watch, and for a skeleton movement, I love to see the gears moving and the springs and to see everything work when you wind it. It's absolutely great. The problem is that a lot of skeleton movements are not very pretty. So I haven't really found a good luxury skeleton piece that I feel is worth thousands of dollars for me to spend yet. There are some very beautiful ones, don't get me wrong, but nothing that I have been like, oh, that's the one, I have to have that. But then as I'm scrolling through Amazon, I come across this skeleton dial that is gorgeous. Its engravings on the movement are just feminine and beautiful. And I figured it was worth a shot, even if I hadn't ever heard of the brand. It didn't take me long to receive the watch because, like I said, I ordered it on Amazon when they were still available on Amazon. So I received my watch rather quickly. I don't know how long it's going to take you to receive your watch if you order through the Rocos website. But this is the box it comes in. There you go. This is the side shot. I absolutely adore their logo. I must say it is a very attractive logo. Then within the wooden box, you'll find this nice little blue box. It has their website and contact information. It's this nice blue satiny kind of paper over, can't tell if it's wood or cardboard. And then just as you would expect in a box like this, when you open it, you'll find the watch on a pillow. However, once you remove it from the pillow and you look at the quality a little closer, you'll see the pillow is actually not very high quality pillow. But I mean, how much do you really use the pillow in the grand scheme of things? Not very much. Underneath the pillow, you'll find the instruction book, which once again, I didn't bother looking at because this is a very simple timepiece. There's no date complication. There's no day complication. There's no complications at all. So it wasn't very hard to figure out. Underneath the blue box, in the bigger wooden box, you will find a Rocos, kind of like a thank you card kind of a thing. They tell you to contact them if you have issues, which I didn't do because I knew that my problem would not be covered by whatever warranty they had. They do say that if you post a picture of your watch on your wrist and you tag them, that they'll send you a coupon discount code. But I know that I've posted a picture on my Instagram numerous times of the watch on my wrist, and I've never received a coupon code. So I guess I'll just keep trying and hope eventually I'll get one. Here is the timepiece. You can maybe see right away why I was drawn to it in the first place. It's completely skeletonized. You can see straight through it. See? You can see a nail. You can see the bottom. Has some very lovely filigrees and decorations around the edge, some roses, and of course the Rocos logo on the top. We have the 3, 6, and 9 in Roman numerals. When you wind it away from yourself. You can kind of hear the gears turning in it too when you spin, which isn't necessarily a great sign, but you know, there is that. When you set it, you just pop open the crown and you can see that there is no hacking second, which is fine because when I took the measurements on this watch on the time grapher, it said it gained about 28 seconds a day. And if that's the case, then having a hacking second would be pretty pointless anyway. Not to mention that, like a lot of fashion and dress watches, there are not numbers at every hour, nor are there even indices at every hour. So it's kind of a guesstimate kind of timekeeping piece. The bracelet is a folding clasp and it snaps right here. But you can kind of see that while it's supposed to snap in, it doesn't really snap very well. And I found while wearing this timepiece around Vegas when I was watch shopping that it kept unsnapping. I think every half hour I was having to reclasp it. So the first thing I did when I came home from that trip was buy a new strap. And what I ended up doing, it's not an expensive strap, but it's a 16 millimeter bracelet and it is a quick release. So it's really easy to change out the strap to something else. And what I did was I bought this pink bracelet from Wristology. And it's a very simple strap, very inexpensive, but it doesn't unclasp every few seconds. Just as the front is skeletonized, the display case back, you can also see the rotor is very lovely, engraved as well. This is 34 millimeters. However, with the gigantic crown in width, it ends up being almost 38. So just keep that in mind. It says it's a 10 millimeter thickness, but when I measured it, it was 10.8. So it's kind of closer to 11 than 10. But really, it's not that thick, and it wears about what you would expect for it to wear. It doesn't wear too big. It's pretty comfortable as far as size is concerned. I'd like to show you this. This is not extremely common on dress pieces, but this watch does have lume. So I'm going to charge it up and show it to you with my handy dandy black light. Not extremely bright. Hasn't quite been a year. When I first got it, it was pretty luminescent. And it stayed pretty bright for a while, but you can see it's pretty dim at this point. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to regular view so that I can discuss the issue I had with this watch. As far as water resistance, it says that it is safe up to 5 bar. And on the description portion of the website, it says that you shouldn't submerge it, pretty much. It said no swimming, snorkeling, diving, etc. But then under specifications, it says it's waterproof. So I am personally going to err on the side of caution and never wear this thing underwater, not even doing the dishes. It's just not something I'm going to risk, especially after the other issues I've already gone through with this thing. So up to this point, the watch sounds pretty good. It's beautiful. It's inexpensive. It keeps decent time. Plus 28 to 30 seconds a day, to me, is not really a big deal. And it's not really uncommon for a dress watch or a fashion watch to not have specific time available. So all of those things I can deal with. But then I hit a snafu. Now, granted, I did try to set the time while the thing was on my wrist. I know. And trust me, I've never done it again. I am not lazy enough to do it again because of what a big pain this was to deal with. So I broke the stem, and then this is what happened. I'm gonna read to you exactly what my husband said happened. He is the one who fixes our inexpensive Japanese and Swiss movements and Chinese movements in this case. I know, Chinese movement. And that's actually part of the problem of what happened. It's not that it's a Chinese movement specifically. It's that on the website, it says it's a Japanese movement. When my husband first looked at it, he thought it looked like a modified Seiko 7009 movement. And that's where he began his search. But he didn't find that. And so he ended up widening it and eventually discovered that it was indeed an HZ2189G movement. That's HZ meaning Hangzhou, which is a Chinese watch movement. And we found the Hangzhou website, and we found the movement on the website. Personally, I just don't get why companies don't just say they have a Chinese movement in their watch. It's not a bad movement. Plus 30 seconds a day. It's not the best movement, but it's not horrible. Anyway, this is what my husband said about repairing the watch.
There's a small retention plate, for lack of a better term, that holds the keyless works in place. I believe what happened is upward pressure on the stem was enough to slightly bend the plate upward, allowing the yoke to slip out of the clutch, rendering the keyless works inoperable for this movement, leaving it in setting position. During reassembly, the clutch wheel jumped into the abyss known as the floor. Rather than source a replacement part, I decided to source a replacement movement, since it was so cheap to begin with. And so I'd have replacement parts for anything that ever went wrong. I purchased from a local watch material company a movement that looked much cleaner and healthier than the one shipped with the watch. So I just went with that instead, rather than disassembling it for the one part I needed at that time.
Such a pity. Pity.
So is it that I just happened to get a poor quality movement that slipped through the cracks? Or is it that this is standard? I mean, so far, the new movement is working pretty well. I haven't had any issues with it. It's running the way I would expect it to run. But will it still be running the same way a year from now? I'll have to let you know a year from now whether or not it's still running. So, is this watch worth over $100? Consider what I've put into it. I bought the watch up front, which was $119.98 plus tax. Then I bought a new bracelet for it, which I can't remember, I think was about $20. And then I ended up buying a new movement, which may or may not be a problem for you. I mean, and that's even considering, are you the type of person that can even repair your own watch? You might be $100 out. Who knows? For me, I have a detail-oriented husband who can fix watches. That's not a deal. But for you, your stem breaks off, you might just be SOL. So for me, I think aesthetically, this watch is worth over $100. It's very difficult to find a very beautiful skeletonized watch. And this is a very beautiful skeletonized watch. As far as timekeeping, that's still to remain unknown because I don't know how the second movement is going to go. Like I said, I'll let you know in a year from now whether or not the watch is still running the way it should. And if it is running the way that it should, I'll give Rocos a thumbs up. And yay, it's worth it. But as of right now, I can't say the movement is worth that much. Timepiece-wise, I would probably want to pay under $100 for this watch. But because of the way it looks, I think that it does indeed push it over the $100 mark. But like I said, you'll want to replace the bracelet because you'll be dealing with it big time if you don't. That's going to be all for this time. I'll see you next time and keep on telling time. Bye. If you like what you've been seeing, I have a simple request. I'm needing a new turntable, one that isn't so shaky. And if you feel like it, please donate so that I can get a new one. In the description, I'll put a link to my PayPal account. If you so choose, please help a girl out. Watch Whimsy. Like. Subscribe. Ring that bell.